I didn't
All
expect him to actually do it.
right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party successfully infiltrated the draconic airship of Tropu Bikok and his apprentice Brogdu in order to alleviate the siege that they were placing over the kingdom of Sundragon. Managing to infiltrate the city-sized ship, kill the captain and his apprentice both before they could complete their Icar experiment, which they seemed to hope would allow them to fuse with the body of the gold dragon, to allow Tropu to alleviate his crippled body, and for Brogdu to simply achieve greater strength. However, the party put a swift and merciless stop to that, and took a few months to rest and recoup, as after one too many radioactive plasma shocks to the arms, Gil had sustained significant nerve damage and needed to go into surgery to have his arms amputated. A few months went by, the party taking the time to explore. Zephyr robbed a bank, although Queen Sundragon, having a good sense of humor, pardoned you for it. And Lucian managed to loot pretty much everything of value off of Tropu's airship before the goblin colony, led by your former party member Raccoon, flew off into the sunset, planning to use what little fuel was left on the airship to get the ship somewhere safe and land it in the mountains, where, with any luck, the goblins can use it as the groundwork to establish a new society. With the immediate eyesore out of the sky and one less Scar Concord member to deal with, the party, as Gil has been freshly surgically prosthesized, readies to march on their next target. Caleb managed to convince Queen Sundragon to march to the aid of Queen Autumnfall, who is currently alone against the armies of Barbarous. The armies that, bear in mind, a century ago took the entire united Eastern nations to fight. Autumnfall is losing ground rapidly, as both Shadow Lily, Blackthorn, and Tebedra all refuse to come to Autumnfall's aid, and Sundragon was far too preoccupied with Tropu to be able to do so. With Tropu off Sundragon's back, she intends to keep her promise and the alliance she signed into, and march to their aid. The party, meanwhile, intends to march with the militia, at least for a time, and assuming they do not join the siege against Governor Barbarous, Caleb and Zephyr intend to return home. They have not seen their family in several months, not since the incident at the summer ball, and Caleb has some plans up his sleeves, apparently, to attempt to get Tebedra to actually participate in the conflict against the Scar Concord. As for the time being, the opportunistic king is simply hedging his bets and trying to play both sides, refusing to commit to either, at least from an outside perspective. However, taking down Tropu was not a quiet action. He may not have been a politician, but he was an extremely wealthy and well-known foreigner, and his airship tended to draw attention everywhere it went. As a result, the party has made themselves known. There's no hope of staying hidden with one of the highest lieutenants of the Scar Concord dead, and the Concord now knows for a fact that you are out there, you are after them, and any one of them could be next. However, not all of the attention you've attracted is negative. Several people have begun flocking from around Yav to Capacitas and the Sundragon territories, in hopes of, if not getting to meet you, at least getting to be on the front that is against these slowly becoming more public enemies. Some hope to turn you all into allies, some simply hope to meet you in person, and others may have some more opportunistic motivations in mind. We turn our attention to the desolate salt flats of the Sundragon lands, a far cry from the lush and populated valleys to the south. And as we turn our attention down to a lone figure making their way across the Sunflats, crossing into the desert as they make their way towards the Sundragon capital of Capacitas, freshly alleviated of its siege, undergoing repairs, and a militia preparing to march. Would our newest player like to describe their character?
All right, you see a rather, you see a rat man. A rat man that is wearing a tattered cloak, but that is covered in pockets, each one bursting at the seams with various substances that seem dangerous, to say the least. As he scampers about, small plumes of dust trail behind him, causing small crackles of electricity and sometimes heat in the air as he leaves a trail in his wake. His fur is long and is black, and his eyes are a deep red.
All right. As this halfling makes their way across the desert sands towards the distant city, you take in your surroundings. The desert sands are not desolate as you would expect. There are pieces of machinery and scrap metal littering the sands. You've heard stories of what happened here, but to see it in person is an entirely different affair. You see the scattered arms, heads, and spines of robots that had been torn asunder in the battles that had taken place here. You see pieces of cloth and rubble and children's toys that had been scavenged and repurposed and taken from refugees from the outlying cities, as pretty much every Sundragon city you passed through on the way to get here had been abandoned, and what few survivors there were just hiding out. A far cry from the once great empire. And as you get closer to the city, the pieces of scrap metal get bigger, far too large to be to any potential robot. You estimate that these are likely what's left of that airship you heard these adventurers managed to take down. And seeing the evidence of what they managed to do gives you a little more confidence that your trip was not for nothing. As you make your way towards the Capacitas walls, it's late at night in the desert at this point for you. And as it is the desert and to the frozen north of Yav, it's fairly chilly. But you keep yourself scampering along in the sands as you make your way towards the gates of Capacitas. As you approach, you see that there are a pair of guards. The Sundragon soldiers do not wear very significant armor, mostly just leathers and furs. Half of them don't even bother with shirts or shoulder pads, just leather pants that can make sure they can maybe withstand a shot to the leg. Everything else is just going in bare-chested and doing it Viking style. And as you approach, you see one of the guards, a massive red-headed human man with kind of spiked up hair, seemingly a combination of the, previous humidity of the desert before the sun went down, and just their own kind of wild, unkempt appearance. He has something of a little bit of an underbite, but he's got pecs, and he's a little intimidating as he looks down to you as you scamper forward. This soldier kind of looks you up and down, and what brings you here, traveler?
Touco just kind of regards him curiously. Would traveling for pleasure suit the answer?
The red-headed man kind of tilts his head curiously, and kind of looks you up and down, and giving a little bit of thought to it, he gives you a bit of a nod. Good a reason as any, as long as you don't make any trouble. It's always a pleasure to have a halfling in these parts.
Oh, I'm honored. Really, I am, he says with just a grin. No trouble for me, no sir.
The redheaded man gives you a smile and kind of starts waving and shouting up to the guards up on the walls. As you follow your gaze up, you see that the walls are coated in various graffiti and what appear to be propaganda posters. Although you notice with a slight bit of humorous interest that all of the propaganda seems to be stuff that was made against Sundragon. As you've heard the stories, the kingdom of violent barbarians from overseas who are never in any less than 2 wars at a time, the most recent addition to the Western Alliance, and from what you've heard, 201, some of the most dangerous people in Yav. And it seems like they take some pride in that reputation as they literally collect propaganda made against them and display it to any travelers who come to visit their cities. As the gate begins to slowly hoist open, the other guard, a kind of much skinnier looking, but still, decently fit, being a soldier, wearing a very basic long sleeve canvas shirt and basic working pants and boots and a rifle slung over his shoulder, kind of looks you up and down and kind of smiling a little bit. You're a pretty big fella for a halfling.
He, again, Touco kind of regards him with a bit of annoyance before. Oh, I just eat my, you know what I do? I eat my greens.
Don't mean no offense, sir. Just find it interesting is all. I think you'll fit in a little bit better than most of your little folk do.
Oh, really? Why you say, oh, really? Why you say?
And he kind of nods to one of the nearby propaganda posters showing like a dual axe wielding shirtless Sundragon soldier bearing down on an elven soldier, and kind of giving you a smile. Little don't exactly fit in around here. No, it's not to say there's a problem with it, just I think you'll find it a little bit easier to throw anyone who gives you trouble over your shoulder.
There's a moment as Touco kind of smirks a little bit darkly. Just, I won't be throwing nobody. Don't you worry.
All right, you go on in, sir. And at this point, the gate stays open, and the 2 soldiers wave you through. You find yourself in the inner city of Capacitas. The city is, being the capital of Sundragon, relatively large, situated in the mountain pass that allows entry from the inner lands of Yav out to the outer lands to the west. The streets are mostly unpaved outside of a little bit of stone, a lot of the desert sand simply forming natural streets. Everything kind of has a bit of an Old West vibe, as the buildings are expansive but also very tall, as most of the population here is soldiers, and you can see that everything is basically tight-knit apartment complexes that are densely packed, but also very widespread around the desert. You can see farmland to the out to the west, the palace and cathedral to the north near the mountain pass, built into the mountains themselves, and the center most populated area to the east, which is where you are right now. You estimate it'll take you a little bit of time to find who you're looking for, but you have enough in your pocket to at least get yourself a room for the night and begin your search in the morning once you've had some sleep. Now that you're in the city proper, is there anything you wish to do during the night, or do you want to just find an inn to sleep in and settle in and start your search in the morning?
Just find an inn to sleep in.
Okay. Making your way down the various sandy streets, you have a little bit of trouble at first finding a place that is open this late, or at least that is allowing new people in. But eventually, as you explore around a bit into the northern district, closer to the palace, you manage to find a small, kind of visibly steaming and somewhat makeshift inn. You can see most of the buildings here are damaged, likely from the battle that had taken place here previously. But frankly, you've stayed in worse. And heading inside, you can see that the somewhat damaged sign out front says that this is the Patchwork Inn. And as you head inside, given that it is very late, most people have already gone to bed. The tables are empty, and there is mostly silence. However, you do see a tall, muscular, blonde human man currently just cleaning out the various tables and organizing everything. And he kind of looks up as you enter, and you can see he has very bright, kind-looking blue eyes. And he gives you a smile as you enter in. Hey, what you doing out so late?
Just trying to find a room to rent.
Oh, well, most of ours are taken at the moment, but he kind of mulls it over for a second, and I'll tell you what, get me a silver, and I'll put you up in my room for the night if you just need it for one.
Oh, such generosity. Again, he gives a smile that, because of he is what he is, looks a bit nastier than intended, but he hands over the silver regardless.
He seems slightly off-put, but not so much that he's not willing to take your money. And as he takes the silver coin, he smiles to you, and all right, here, I'll put you up for the night. I can sleep down here for the time. Well, I don't need to tell you not to make a mess. Just, make sure you take all your stuff. We should have some rooms cleared out in the morning if you want to stay here longer. Militia is going to be marching at dawn, so our room should mostly be cleared out by then.
Oh, sounds good to me.
And he puts you up in his room for the night. The room itself is very comfortable. A window looking out onto the city streets. Although because of how tight-knit Capacitas is, it's less like, oh, you get to see like a garden or like the streets and where people are walking and talking. It's more you can just see the windows of the neighboring buildings, and you get the impression that most of these people's socialization just comes from leaning out their windows and talking to each other. It's homey and a little tight, but again, that's something you're used to. And you settle in comfortably for the night, ready to begin your search in the morning. As the sun rises over Capacitas, the events of the morning itself play out pretty much as we had talked about in the last session. The Sundragons are still working on clearing out the last of the stragglers who are just hiding out in alleyways. It appears the constructs that Kaloum created are at least smart enough to attempt to hide and salvage themselves, but not able to withstand an entire city of people searching for them, and pretty much 201 all warriors. And as you guys mull over breakfast and start deciding, any errands you need to run, any shopping you need to do, as you all group up for breakfast, Touco, it's at this point you wake up, and descending, not downstairs as he put you up in his room, but just basically out through his room, the kitchen, and out from behind the bar to go into the tavern properly. The man gives you a smile and a nod as you exit. And for the rest of you, Lucian, Gil, Caro, Zephyr, and Caleb, you kind of notice offhandedly out of the corner of your eye as you're discussing what you want to do, whether you want to join the militia or not, and just what your plans for the day are. You see this heavily bepocketed halfling exit out from the bartender's personal area from behind the tavern that you guys haven't seen yet. And the tavern owner kind of gives them a smile and a nod, appearing to know the halfling. And Touco, as you take in your surroundings, the streets and buildings much more crowded now that it's in the early morning. Since they haven't gotten descriptions of some of you yet, we'll take this one at a time. Lucian, would you like to describe yourself?
Yeah, so Lucian is currently sitting at the table with a bowl of fruit in front of her. She has a very pale white skin. She is a light elf, you can tell by her ears and the descent. She has deep green eyes. And currently she is wearing this two-piece. The top has like a pentacle as like the straps. And it's just like a plain halter with some shorts and a mesh skirt that goes over it. And next to her is a very large broom. And then between her feet is a little kitty whose eyes are a little blue and they're glowing.
All right. Gil, would you like to describe yourself?
So, you see a really tall dude. He's packed with weapons, more so than most normal saint people would be. He has two metallic arms that start metallic from the shoulder down. He's got tattoos all over his chest and back. He has long black hair that he keeps braided in a ponytail, with a scar going from his right eye down to the corner of his jaw. He has no shirt. He's just wearing green dress pants because that's the last outfit he had.
Where's the brand on you, right? Is it on your front or back?
It's over your chest.
Yeah, it's on his chest. And he does have a brand on him in Draconic, if you know it. Pretty much that says impatient.
Yeah, Touco, you do speak Draconic. You can see that the muscular, shirtless light elf over their heart has a vicious-looking brand in Draconic, which you can read. You can see it says impatient.
Touco would just smirk at that.
I forgot to mention that Lucian has a holy symbol around her neck.
All right. Zephyr, would you like to describe yourself?
Alright. Well, Zephyr is gonna be a bit more interesting. Because this will be a bit descriptive for the rest of the party as well. You see this small, very, very small kobold. He is rough size of like around 2 feet, so half your size. And you see he has a lot on him to him. Like you see he has like this quiver to his back, bags to his side. He happened like as he's kind of just drinking, just ignoring most of the people, probably ignoring his party. You know how he is. You see he's like on one hand he has like 3 or 4 rings. He has this interesting backpack or like contraption to his strap to his back. You see as well as he has like almost like rocket boots. But other than you also see he has this like this very leather like a silk. What's the armor, right? It's like a metallic.
Yeah, it's this kind of like very fine silk looking material, but it's actually like very microfiber metals.
Yeah. It's very like almost like combat suit to him. And he just sees very like pretty much packed to the T small boy.
Mm-hmm. Keto, would you like to describe yourself?
What you see with her is first you notice a very bulky diving suit fashioned in a way to look like a tiger with a very green head poking out of a red-eyed tree frog. He has a very large crossbow slung across her back, another crossbow to her side, and a veritable horde of creatures constantly following her.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Yeah,
you got a
Kurt-
tiger, some raptors, as in the dinosaur.
Yeah, I was gonna say, currently
The dragon.
currently lounging around the frog person's seat. You can see a small for a tiger, but still no less intimidating white-furred Siberian tiger, a small suchomimus curled around their feet, a seemingly very young blue dragon, and that's just the creatures you can see on them. But you've heard stories that this person travels with quite the menagerie.
Yeah.
And finally, Caleb, would you like to describe yourself?
Alright. So Caleb is a rather young human with blue eyes and long blonde hair.
Oh, you're getting kind of far away from the...
Yeah, you're leaning away from the mic.
Hang on, I'm trying not to be too loud. You don't like when I'm too loud.
No worries.
He's a young human with blue eyes and blonde hair that reaches just past his shoulders at this point. And he is currently wearing a white, because he doesn't have his armor on. So he's wearing a white cloak with like a gold, with like gold coloring on the inside and trim. And he also has over his back a pair of guns. At his hip, he has a not like super long sword, because it's not technically a long sword. And then he also has several daggers on him, including one that has some interesting markings on it.
All right. Touco, as you take in the sight of these colorful strangers sitting around a table over breakfast, discussing plans with one another, do you wish to approach?
Turn the
Indeed,
AC on, it's hot.
Indeed, he does.
All right. You all watch as the bepocketed halfling, a little on the large side for a halfling, but not like unnaturally so. It's possible that they're just a giant by halfling standards. This bepocketed halfling scampers up to all of you.
Caro, did you get a new follower already?
Oh, you kidder. Yeah, you make me laugh. You make me laugh, mate. That's funny. I'm just saying, I've been looking all around, you know, and I've got to ask, a menagerie of your sort, are you the ones responsible for, he gestures to the sky? Fuck up there, going bye-bye?
Oh, yeah, that's what she is.
That was fun, actually.
Splendid.
Minus him, pointing to Zephyr. He was
Yeah.
busy
You see
robbing the place.
Lucian laughing.
He tilts his head and just kind of shakes it up for a moment, not quite sure what you meant before. Anyways, so I've just got to know. Do you have any job openings? I would love to join. Can I say? as he just like pats his pockets.
How about a small test first?
You want a test
Too.
drive?
I have a test too.
Try?
Initiation, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
I
shit.
think I'll do that.
What are your specialties? First,
You
if I might
glitched
ask.
out. You glitched out. I can't hear you.
What are your
What are your
specialties?
specialties?
Well, you see, I'm something of an artificer. As he like produces like a couple of that brightly colored powders, and as he rubs his index finger and thumb together, you see tiny little sparks emerge before dissipating. I can do all sorts of things with these buttes.
Oh, we had the friend who
Okay.
could do that. He was also fuzzy.
Ah, that's what happened to him. Is he all right?
Oh,
not
he
dead.
He
did.
just had other priorities.
Oh, all right. That's good. He didn't die.
Yeah,
He
he
got
just stayed
a-
home because they have
Yeah,
their own
he's-
problems he needed to fix.
All right, you said it. I'm not gonna argue. As he just puts his hands up, it's noted that as he's interacting with all of you, he keeps his eye kind of lingers on. I'm sorry, what was her name?
Well, which character?
One,
The one that Amanda controls.
Lucian.
Lucian.
Yeah, that his eyes linger on Lucian's form for a moment. And he gives her an appreciative sort of glance before continuing to look to the rest of the group.
She doesn't seem like she noticed.
So, you're good with chemicals and making things?
Do you do
Yeah.
chemistry or alchemy?
A little bit of both, I reckon.
I've just gotten myself into some alchemy.
Oh, really? We should talk about it sometime over tea.
She kind of looks at Gil and then at the halfling, and she's just like, maybe.
Be careful.
You know,
They like to
it doesn't just extend to all these powders. I'm very, very good at ingredients, if you will.
And Caleb, what were you going to say?
Caleb was going to say, be careful. They like to talk about things like they know everything, but they don't.
Don't hear him saying that.
Caleb,
Well-
are you whispering?
Yes, I thought I made it clear I was whispering.
No, I was just making sure. For funsies, roll me stealth, and Lucian, roll me perception.
Alright.
Okay, plus 12 to stealth, and this is sound-based, is it not?
Sure. I'll be willing
It
to.
says...
Yeah.
Where is it? While you wear these boots or something like this on, you also have advantage on dexterity checks that rely... Oh, never mind. It specifies moving silently.
Okay.
All right. But still, you still have a considerable stealth modifier. So roll stealth, Lucian, perception.
Which dice do I want to roll this with? We'll roll it with the new one. I have a 32. Also known as a natural.
She got
A little higher
a
than my-
118.
Yeah.
Lucian, you do not hear what Caleb says. You just see Caleb kind of lean over to the halfling and whisper something, but whether it was directed at you or not, or what is said, you can't tell. And the halfling just seems more confused than anything. This is fun. We have an actually relatively sane outsider looking into this group's fucking dynamic.
Like, it won't be.
There's a
sane
moment
for-
of pause as he kind of like again just tilts his head before looking to the rest of them. Just, They said I was crazy about where I came from. This is gonna be interesting.
You'll get used to it.
Crazy
Can I
is
do my
our
experiment now?
specialty.
Can I do the experiment now, Gil?
Which experiment?
Do you have a dagger?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we have a somewhat of a initiation testing of blood sort of thing.
I see. Is it like a cult? Are we talking a cult here?
No,
No,
nothing
we
like
just-
that.
I'll take out my dagger and I'll prick myself with it like as a demonstration.
Touco, you watch a little concerned as the muscular Geogran elf pulls one of their daggers free and pricks their finger. Except instead of the what's up?
Not finger because it's mechanical. He's like
True.
just like on his chest, right over his heart. He just slices himself just a little bit.
All right. So yeah, you watch as he does a very delicate cut over his heart, just deep enough to draw blood. But your eyes go wide as instead of the trickle of blood you were expecting, you see this bubbling tar-like black substance begin to leak from his chest.
Not all
Yeah,
of us
we need to
have
keep
it.
track of that.
Yeah, this is very important. I'm sure you
Right.
understand.
We have
That
to keep track
Inca
of-
stuff.
It's something.
Are we just
We're
telling,
not sure what yet.
Are we just telling everyone
Something
about
along
this?
those lines.
I'm
Yeah,
still doing
you
some
should get that looked at, mate, if you haven't already.
We're working on it.
Would you mind showing us your blood as well, so we can see if you're like some of us or not?
All right. You're sure this isn't a cult? He says as he draws a blade from one of the many pockets he has and pricks his finger.
Cross my heart.
So good it's not. And also, do you have any moments where you were not seen for a little bit, that you couldn't remember?
Yeah, anytime missing.
Well, if she's doing the blood thing, that would already prove it, right? Remembering.
And Zephyr, as you point this out, Touco, a little concerned, you prick your finger cautiously, and you hold your finger up from your paw for all to see as normal, untainted blood flows from their finger.
Well, that's good. It's good to see that it is not spreading.
And now it's just Arrow and now you.
Yeah.
That don't have the ichor.
Oh,
There goes
that's...
one of my theories.
I will say later.
I don't know how to start over.
I will say later on, we probably shouldn't just, blurt out this little thing we're holding on to.
Well, if they're joining us, they should know.
Yeah, like, is it
Debatable.
cancerous?
No, not that I know
Well,
of.
not unless I bleed all over you
Yeah, it's very
into the open
Does
cut.
it spread?
it's very contagious. You don't want to touch it.
Right, don't touch the icky blood. Is it? You can see him just his fur kind of bristle as he regards it before shaking his fur. All right, so what's the test?
Also, Matt, where's Red?
So you're good at building stuff and working with items. Let me see.
And
To be
while
honest,
they're
we don't know exactly how it spreads.
Well,
We don't know if it's just touching it or
Yeah.
if it's getting it in you.
well, we know getting
And,
it in
Zep-
will work.
And Zephyr, just to answer your question, Red has mostly been staying at the little hideout you guys set up for yourself out in the farms.
I have a way of communicating, so it's okay.
Yeah, just so you know where he is, since you asked.
I'm still working on a lot of theories, but I can show you my notes later if you like.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm also something of a doctor. Again, just a grin that it's just that it's its face that it looks bad.
What kind of doctor?
The kind that throws a bunch of things at it until I get it right.
Sounds like my dad.
I hope that's a compliment.
She kind of looks a little awkward and she doesn't say anything.
Right. Okay.
We also know someone else that is also looking into it as well. So we hope to have a solution to this problem before too long.
I'm looking
Well,
for
as he
Joe.
kind of regards it, he gets kind of close for a second, like sniffing at it before again his fur bristling, and he backs up. Give me. I can't promise you a month, but like I don't know, I'll get something done in that time at least.
If he joins us, I can just like give him my notes and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be most helpful for this situation.
You could work together.
I've been working on it for
We get
a
to where
long
we're
time.
going. After we get to where we're going, we can also see what Summer has come up with.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what she's come up with. She's very knowledgeable in her area as well. Plus, Gil's got to have tea.
I don't know about tea.
What, are you gonna like kidnap her?
He better not.
Yeah,
I was going to say probably not a thing to tell anybody while their brothers are literally.
Yeah, while two of her fucking brothers are at the table.
Zephyr doesn't give a shit.
I'm just giving him shit, Caleb. Just ignore me. I'm just giving him shit.
Less that I care more. Less I don't care more. I just don't see Gil being capable.
I'm afraid to ask what you don't think he is capable of. But my curiosity is becoming better.
I think he
Gil better not have any
What?
better not have any uncouth ideas about my sister.
What are you saying?
Knowing Gil, Caleb, you probably want to stab him in the brain.
You're not like a brother and sister. You know, you kind of mix like he has his fingers kind of like intertwined before like letting like putting them at his either side again.
No.
All right, good. That's good.
No.
That's
No.
great, actually.
Caleb is just like,
No, my
there are
brother isn't
so
like it.
many ways that does not work.
Ugh.
You
You
see,
Many of them y'all
Lucian-
don't even know about.
Yeah, you literally see Lucian just shiver. And that like a ghost walk through her, you know, like that.
Considering Lucian's sibling looks like her and how much she seems to love herself.
Yeah.
She shakes her head and rolls her eyes. I have a twin
Caleb
brother.
starts laughing.
I have a twin brother.
Yeah.
Caleb is still laughing.
She's
I just don't get what this whole like look at each other's in the eyes sort of thing is. Like, what's you telepathic?
Either way.
So why do you want to join us?
What?
Why do you want to join us?
Oh, yeah, you glitched out for a second.
I'm sorry.
I feel like it's on
Yeah.
your end.
Fine on
They
my
sound-
end.
Yeah, they sound fine.
It's actually the best they've sounded in a while.
Thank you. I got a new connection for my fucking headphones, so.
No, yeah, it's my computer that's really bad with it sometimes.
No worries. But yeah, they were just asking why Touka wants to join the party.
Well, let's just say that I'm in the business of finding a solution to a much bigger problem. And in the meantime, I happen to notice y'all solving problems. And I was hoping that, at some point, I might be able to recruit a bunch of people who can help solve a really big problem.
What kind of problem?
Well, that's the kind of problem I'll reveal when we're on our way. Hmm?
Come on, we
And how
spilled our
long-
guts about our problem to you.
Yeah, like, we were completely transparent with you. I expect the same from you.
He thinks about it for a
I
moment,
don't
kind
care
of
what
like
you
his tail
think,
kind of
Pepper.
twitching. Let's just say my own kingdom's got some issues.
Where are you from?
What would I have to? I guess yeah. From the I don't know if you've heard of it, Underdark.
Oh yeah, we've been there. Well, part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we've
Been
been
there,
there.
done
We
that.
Been there, done
overthrew
that.
a bunch of dark elves, set off a volcanic eruption.
That sounds fun. Yeah, there's not so
Other
many
than this,
volcanoes down there anymore. It's really a shame.
We found
Uh,
one.
Where in Yav is the opening to your city?
That'd be something Matt would know.
Rip Matt.
R.I.P.
Sorry, I was letting everyone talk. And you would know that your area, I won't spoil the details, your area is beneath the Curtail Kanat.
All right.
Shit, where's my map? Hang on. Where's my map?
Well, yeah, Touco, you
Caleb,
can go
roll
through if you
history
like.
just to see if he has any fucking idea what that place is.
Yeah,
Because I don't.
I'm sure Lucian would.
Caleb
have
doesn't
the
know
map
shit. I
anymore.
rolled a 10.
Could somebody send me the map again? Because I had my phone replaced and I don't have the picture anymore.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Also, Touco, I'm assuming you just pass on that that's the area your Underdark Kingdom is?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to figure out where it is and how we can help.
I would look at this map, but it's all in cursive. So it's like
Yeah,
I
they
can
have
read,
a
I
few
can read it.
spots
Just can you send it to
first.
me, please?
it's all fancy
But
writing, so it's like
We could probably
I
help.
can read it.
I don't think I ever got a map.
I sent it over. I believe I sent it over the group chat.
Yeah, it was in thing.
Is it penned?
Probably.
I don't believe so. Here, I'll just send it again.
Yeah, I got it. I got
God.
it.
Pin it.
Never mind, Austin's
And-
got it covered.
Gotcha.
Cusco.
And then pin it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Pen it, just save it.
Okay, and what was it called again?
The Curtail Kanat.
How do I pin something? Oh shit.
Here, I got it.
You can right click it, and then there should be a pen, like third option.
Okay,
There
there
you
it is. Alright, it's right by Wicket. We could okay, so it's south of Wicket. I do have to go to Wicket for something very important, but it's on the way. I don't see why we couldn't help.
Ah, that's wonderful. Great to hear.
I assume the blue is water.
Yes.
Yeah, I found it pretty quickly.
I mean, again,
I can't read
Yeah,
any
like
of this
fancy.
because it's tiny.
It okay.
you can
There's a little
enlarge it.
purple country on the very top right. It's the little purple, the big one, the big purple one. It's right under that. There's like one dark
purple,
green
but-
one and one kind of like a light
Purple?
green. Yeah, the purple one all the way on the right. There's Kyogre, there's Wicket, and then right under it is Curtail.
Where are we?
It's on the right.
Kingdom of Sundragon,
We
far
are
left.
currently on the left. Yeah, we're on the left side of the map.
This yellow one?
We are the yellow.
Yes.
Yes, the yellow one.
And so we're going south, right?
Yes, to get to Tepedra.
Which
Yeah,
one
we're
is
going
Demetra?
through. We're going
The
south
orange
through
at the
Autumn
bottom.
Fall, and then
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
that-
on
We're
the.
gonna go there, and then we're gonna come back up north a little bit to one of these places near Demetra, right?
That'd make
Most
sense.
likely, unless you have a way of
We're
crossing
gonna
the
get
water.
to Aegis because we promised.
I'll be
promised,
right back.
Hero.
Good.
So we're gonna go down to Demetra, deal with Caleb shit, go back to Aegis.
Then we're gonna
and
go to
then-
Aegis.
And then we're gonna go to Wicket,
gonna-
right?
Yeah, and you can
Yes,
easily
and
pass
this
the
one is
Curtail
what in
Kanat on the way.
Yeah.
Look, we're making a plan.
Okay, I managed to make it bigger.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah, I see.
All
Just
right.
some of them are hard to read. Yeah, is that a K? I don't know.
I can read them pretty easily.
Is it Aegis or Ergos? No, that's the
It's
Ergos.
Aegis. Aragos is where we just came from. The little gray,
there's-
the little cayenne one, all the way on the left. That cayenne colored one is Aragos.
Cayenne.
You pronounce it Cayenne?
Yeah, cayenne.
Yeah.
Cyan.
Cayenne
I've
pepper.
always pronounced it that way. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Autumn Fall, Barbarous,
Cayenne,
Shadow
whatever.
Lily,
Like tomato.
Bison Sardo.
From what I
Eric
remember,
Mr.
Matt saying Shadow Lily is currently on lockdown, so we will probably have to go from Autofarm to Barbarous, which we want to go to Barbarous anyway and kill the warlord, and then
Yeah.
we can go to Tebedra. I mean, it's like
And
on the way.
well, as a slight point of mention, Shadow Lily isn't on lockdown. It's just that for whatever reason they're not helping. Blackthorn is the one that's just
Yeah, I'm pretty
staying.
sure the plan is we go to Topedra, Caleb's gonna do his thing.
Alright,
and
I'm
then
back.
If Caleb's thing works out well, we can come back from Topedra with help, because Sundragon's gonna go to Barbarous, and it's probably gonna take them time to work them over anyways. So we'll come in and help them finish off the job.
So yeah, basically there is a route you can take where everyone's business gets resolved.
Okay.
Where's the Aegis Federation?
The Aegis Confederation
Big
is
orange one below the Curtail Canot.
Yeah, you'll see the purple one,
Wow,
and then
Barbarous
the light
went
blue
really
one, and then
far.
right under. Yes, he did.
He went through the Vice and Sardom, and he would have had to cross water.
Probably could do that. Probably easy for him.
The Kingdom of Spear Maiden, and then cross water again to get to the Aegis Federation.
Yeah.
So you guys agree to help the halfling?
I'm good
Yeah.
with it. I'll look to the others. You guys good with it?
Yeah.
I
Sure, we
I
can
hear
fit it
the
in.
uncomfortable noises, Zephyr. What are your concerns?
Nothing about it.
Would Caleb know anything about this giant amount of unclaimed land
Yeah, it's like,
between
isn't that the
Wicked
dead
and
zone?
the Kingdom of Song? And
Yeah, that's been mentioned in the campaign earlier, and Zephyr remembered, so I'll go ahead and give it to you. That used to be the Kingdom of Penditi, but Barbarous completely genocided them in their initial invasion, and out of respect for the Penditi people, that land has been completely untouched ever since.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
I mean, who knows? Because it's been untouched. It's been utilized being untouched. Maybe that's where the camp is. You know, like where a place where no one.
That might
will
explain why
visit.
Gyoger wiped them out. They just decided we need this territory for our secret plan.
Be careful.
Also, why is the Weiss,
The ogre didn't do it.
Stardom,
It
and
was
Kingdom
hard.
of Crime Soon the same color?
I just because their flags are the same color, so I had to improvise. I did give Crime Soon gold borders though to distinguish them.
There's a lot of
Alright.
places that have not been mentioned at all.
Well, you guys haven't
places.
been there yet.
Yeah,
You guys,
big
but
world.
yeah, you guys have.
Big world.
Is
Yeah,
it
big world.
Weissen or Weissen?
That's Wyson. All right. So, do you guys have any errands you wish to conduct in Capacitas? Or
I
are you?
do.
I'd imagine that the Sundragon is in high demand for weapons, considering they're about to go to war. The Caleb has a shit ton of short swords he's remaining to sell.
Yeah, and
There's
I
a
have
shit
some
ton of
places
long
that I need to go.
swords.
What are these places?
I need spell components for some certain spells that I have.
Yeah, I get that.
So, did we refill water skins?
I mean,
I can do that.
I know y'all did that at one point.
I haven't done my spells this morning, so I mean, I can just say that I do it.
There we go. 3 out of 3.
Okay.
I've made a little note on it to help me didn't keep track of it.
Mhm.
We had 3, like 4 out of 4.
No, it's 3.
Whatever. Fun.
Create, destroy. Okay,
Well,
yeah,
I
I
guess
have water.
we know what
I have-
Zephyr's been doing this whole time.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
Zephyr
like,
has a decanter of endless water, so it doesn't matter anyway.
yeah, I literally fill my own water because I have a. I could literally just be like, hey.
He literally has infinite water, so.
Yeah. I could make an ocean if I,
had enough
killed-
time.
Had enough time and destroyed my voice.
All right. Touco, it appears this party of oddballs has accepted your aid in exchange for helping you with your business in the Curtail Connaught, and immediately just start launching into things they intend to go out and buy in Capacitas. Lucian intends to go buy some spell components, just things they need for their spell casting. Caleb intends to make a quick buck selling off their excess weaponry to the militia.
And I got stuff to sell too. And then
Gil,
buy.
Yeah,
I guess.
all right. Gil, you have some shopping to do. Is that for anything from you?
I guess if everyone else is doing it, I'll do my shopping. I would like to go see some clothing. Yes.
Okay. Keto, anything from you?
Ooh, ooh,
I'm gonna go shopping for some food for my pets.
yeah.
All right. And Touco, anything you need to buy while you're in town, or you stocked up for now?
Kara, if Lucian gives you a couple gold, would you grab her some stuff too?
Keto?
Cool. I'll give you
Caleb
like,
still has 50 days of rations.
I don't know how much it is, but I'll give you like 50 gold.
Yeah, you guys have officially reached that point of wealth where it's just like, how expensive could it be? $50?
So, Matthew, how long of a trip is this all going to be?
Last time you took this trip, because you did technically make the trip in reverse already. Here, I have it written.
While he does that, I want to also gently remind you that Lucian could also prepare the create food and water spell. So if we run out of food, we do have Lucian.
Or hunting.
We're not.
We're not
Caleb
hunting.
does have a gun, so he can hunt things.
We're not
We're
hunting.
not hunting.
We're not
You
all herbivores.
Yeah, you don't have to hunt.
You can gather instead.
Why
Or
the
you
fuck
can-
do that?
Or you can use your spell, which is, land.
Yeah, it doesn't like taste
I can
bad.
use
No,
It
it
tastes
doesn't-
bad. It
prestidigitation.
tastes
tastes-
like nothing.
There's no
I can use
taste to it.
prestidigitation.
Does that make
Which
it
is
taste?
pretty much the same as bad.
I don't.
That make it actually better.
I think it's like you can.
I mean,
you can
by like
season
the
it.
standards of these people that this party is made of.
Yeah, it doesn't make anything like. what
Yeah,
the
you
food
can
make-
flavor up. You can flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for an hour.
What?
So yeah, I could flavor it.
That's-
It all tastes like shit.
I'm gonna stab you.
what are you talking about?
All right, so
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
I don't know what you're talking about. That. All right.
Prestidigitation.
I just read it off of the spell.
What?
Prestidigitation.
here, I got it.
Prestidigitation.
Press a digitation.
There you go. That helps
Oh
you hunt
god. I feel like I'm falling down a well.
Dude, you okay?
No, just hearing y'all cyclical talking.
I mean, this is basically every Tuesday.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Tuesday for us.
I can't say that word. That's really
It's
the problem.
okay.
Visitation.
Don't worry.
And
it's
yes,
alright.
Austin, I confirmed. You can chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic feet of non-living material. It's fine.
Didn't know.
All right. Caleb, we'll start with you. So how many short swords are you planning to sell, and are you selling them just to whatever store you can find, or are you going to
Longsword.
try and... longsword?
Yeah, it's long swords, not short swords.
Oh, thank you.
Caleb can't use them, so
All right, and are you selling them to the militia or just to the store?
who does he think he could get more out of?
Make an insight check.
Let's see. Insight check. My insight is +1. Shit.
Yeah.
15.
Now that-
You're not a salesman. That's kind of more your siblings thing. But you suspect that the store is likely going to undersell it because they still need to resell it and make a profit. So they likely can't take it off your hands for too much. As a reason, pawn shops are typically rather small. But when you think about it, the militia has an immediate need of that weapon and will likely keep it. So you'll probably make more selling it to the militia, who won't be intending to resell it. They just want to take it and use it, rather than to the store that intends to resell it and thus has to charge you a little
All right.
bit.
I'm gonna have Caleb look at this. He's gonna go to the store and see how much a longsword is going for.
At the store, longswords are currently being sold for 15 gold apiece.
Alright.
Try to undersell it for like 10.
Caleb is going to. Alright, I guess I'll just. Alright, he'll sell them for 15. He'll see if he can't get.
Alright. And these are the long swords you got from the Temple of Patience, right?
I have no idea where they came from.
There's a lot of dead bodies, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
so-
okay, I know what Caleb's gonna do. He's gonna try to sell them for 20 gold, and he's gonna try to make it sound like they're from he's gonna sell them as being exotic from the lands of. Where the fuck were we recently?
You went to Argos recently.
Yeah, but they might not like Argos.
The Baradel. You didn't go there, but
The Underdark.
You're lying anyways. So you can
Yeah,
go
but-
anywhere.
Yeah, but they might not trust. Okay.
Unless you're going for like.
Alright, Caleb was going to try to pitch them as being exotic swords, the best from the Underdark.
okay, make a deception check.
He's actually got a pretty good deception. Hang on, I gotta do some math. I don't know what these numbers add up to. 18 plus 6 is 24.
Okay. Caleb, you excuse yourself from the table and head out to do some business. And checking the various weapon shops, of which there are quite a few, you conclude pretty easily that the store is selling these things for 15 gold. You're more likely to get a good price out of the militia, who's going to use them rather than resell them. And on the way out to just basically going around the street, pawning them off to militia members as you go, you start building up this sales pitch of exotic Underdark blades retrieved from a temple, which is not technically a lie. And whether it's that or just your natural charisma, you do manage to convince quite a few people who they have to dig deep into their pockets a little bit, but for an ancient, potentially enchanted Underdark blade from a temple, easy enough to do.
See, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 longswords. How many of those did I manage to sell?
With a pretty good deception and these people in need of weapons and persuaded by your sales pitch, you actually managed to sell all of them, which lands you, for selling them for 20 apiece, 140 gold.
Nice. And I get rid of these short swords that I don't need.
Short swords.
Or long swords I
Yeah,
don't
long
need.
swords. All right. Kero, Lucian gave you 50 extra gold to grab some animal feed. How many days worth of animal feed are you buying?
I'm going to need to do some math.
And then give myself 140 gold.
While you're doing that math, Lucian, what spell components are you planning to pick up?
So I'm gonna need 10 gold worth of charcoal, herbs, and incense. I'm also
Nicely
going
done.
to need high quality paper and ink. I also need, I think I have a brass brazier, but I'll just buy an extra one just in case.
All right, and the prices should be listed on the spells, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not the brass brazier.
Yeah, some of them don't, but.
All right.
List it if it has a.
So that way I can recast Find Familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
turn niche into other things.
All right, 50 gold for the brass brazier and the listed spell price for everything else.
Okay.
This is the capital of Sundragon, and they do need to supply their spellcasters, so it doesn't take you too long to just travel around the city and find one.
Spellcasters here?
Yeah.
I thought they were all barbarians.
Well, see, that's a very narrow-minded presumption of the Sundragon people.
Indeed.
No, I mean like the class.
Well, if some barbarians can cast spells.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
It's like
you can even multi-class from
pretty
barbarian to do other stuff. Like you can still you can be like a cleric barbarian. You could be.
I think
all
classes.
I don't know if you could be a wizard and be a barbarian, but I'm pretty sure you can do like warlock, druid. I guess you could. It would just be really, really hard.
I mean, it'd just be like odd, like having odd things could be kind of counteracting each other, but otherwise, yeah, it's just a spellcaster and a barbarian could be kind of
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, Lucian, you can easily require those spell components. Kato, have you done your math?
How long are we expecting to be between towns?
Well, there are areas in Autumnfall and even Shadow Lily that you can pit stop at on the way, but you'll likely be on the road for about a week or so.
So how long it took us last time?
More or less, yeah. It took you and bear in mind that was on carriage, which was a little bit faster. But yeah, you can make the trip relatively quickly.
I'll get a month's worth of food just in case, so that'll be 300 days of food.
All right, 300 days of food for your aminals.
Now, that's okay.
And of course, for me, I don't know.
You need like a.
I'd like
so you want to pick up
it, I guess.
You need like a tank.
All right, so you want to get 30 days of just people rations as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bugs. You don't need to mince words here. I'm going
to mince words. Yeah, we're like, say how it is. Bugs.
Bugs.
Okay. Give me just a hot
bugs
second.
are actually a really good source of protein. In fact, most insects are one of the most energy-dense forms of food available to humans. And in this case, frog people.
All right. While I'm doing the math, Zephyr, what are you grabbing? If anything, you said you had some shopping to do. So.
Well, yeah, he would like to go for some like a particular clothes. He wants to grab some like heavy clothing. Not basically just like things good for winter.
Okay. You're tired of being cold.
Well, just precautions. He already technically has something for it, but it's like this would make it even better.
All right, cold weather gear will run you 10 gold.
Cold weather, 10 gold.
Yeah, that's an item in D&D, cold weather clothing, so feel free to just add that to your inventory. Okay, and I believe I did my math right here.
Wait, is it turning cold?
No, it's just precaution.
Yeah, Zephyr just wants to be safe. And Kero, 16 gold and a silver piece for your food.
That I can do.
All right.
I can't carry it.
And one silver piece?
Yeah, 16 gold and a silver.
Okay.
I didn't have bags of gold.
So Lucian wanted me to grab stuff for, right?
Yeah.
Did she specify?
No.
To be fair, you do know that she's a vegetarian.
Yeah, so
Oh.
she'll buy some veggies. What look good, I guess.
Okay. How many days of worth of like
She'll
edible?
also grab a month's worth of food for her.
Okay, a Yavik month or IRL month?
I figure just a Yavik month, like an in-game month.
Okay. Okay, and then divide that into coppers and silvers. Okay, 2 gold.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And Gil, what mercantile objectives do you have?
So, he has 6 pistols and 200 rounds of bullets for those pistols that he's wanting to sell.
Okay.
He's also got 2 suppressor pistols and 5 ionic axes.
Okay. You want to sell them to the militia or to?
He's going to aim for the militia first, since they're going to be putting them to immediate use.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
And he will demonstrate how they work as well to help sell them.
Okay.
Uh, 18.
The militia does seem interested in buying them, and they have to kind of like start pooling their money as these weapons are not cheap. Okay, so you said you had how many pistols?
6 regular pistols.
Okay.
Also, I feel like the fact that they're starting to become known probably helps us sell this crap off.
Oh, yeah.
Because people know we've traveled a lot.
Yeah, there's a reason they bought your story, that these were, like, ancient Underdark weapons. And how many bullets?
200.
All right, and then... all right. Sorry, having to run a bunch through a calculator here.
Oh, you're good.
All right. In total, the militia again has to like get together and pool their money, but they are able to present you with 1,560 gold for all the pistols and ammo.
And that is the suppressor pistols as well?
No, just the unremarkable pistols.
Okay.
Uh,
you said 1,000 how much?
1,560 for the pistols and all of the ammo. Now, for the ionic axes and the suppressor pistols, they obviously don't I mean, they can tell that they're made with flintlock pistols as a base, but since these are effectively, as far as they're concerned, magic weapons, they kind of ponder amongst themselves, but eventually one of the soldiers just simply asks you, how much you wanting for those?
Based off of the price, like, do I remember the prices that I was told for them back in Edict?
Make a history check.
Dirty 20.
Thinking about it, the prices, you remember, were heightened because there was a shortage on energy cells, and up here there's going to be even more of a shortage. So I guess I'll just ask you, do you want to charge them taking into account that basically once these pistols run out of ammo, they likely will never be able to use them again? Or are you going to lower the price and basically be honest about that?
I will be honest, and I will lower the price. I'm just trying to like get a rough idea in my head.
Yeah. Okay, so with that in mind then, it's a bit of a rough estimate, as again, you basically have to take the market price and like adjust it in your head. So a lot of this is kind of a patchwork system you're coming up with on the fly. But you eventually settle that about 350 per pistol would probably be fair. It's higher than a normal pistol's market cost, but obviously taking into account extremely limited ammunition.
I'll probably say 250 per pistol.
All right, so market
And-
price for an unenchanted pistol then.
Yes, about 250, maybe 3. Well, you said 300 was for a regular?
I said your initial conclusion was 350.
Oh, 350. Okay, yeah. Then he'll stick with the 350.
Okay. And how many are you trying to sell off?
He has 2 of those.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
Well,
26.
Again, you can tell the militia's starting to get bled dry. They don't have a lot of money to just throw around like that. But eventually, for both of the pistols, they offer you 700 gold.
Okay.
But at this point, you've pretty much bled you and Caleb have bled the militia of their finances. You don't estimate you're going to be able to get much more out of these people. They're not exactly like packing along their life savings on their fucking journey.
So at that point, he'll probably head to one of the shops then to get rid of the extra ionic axes.
All right, and how many are you going to try and sell off?
5 of those.
Okay.
He's keeping. Don't worry.
So 5 of the ionic axes. I don't know why I closed the document. There we go. All right, so then taking into account that he is selling them, so a little bit more. They offer you 12,500 gold for both of the axes.
For all 5?
Yes.
And you said 12,000?
12,500.
Yeah, he'll take it.
Okay. Gil and Caleb, you've sold off your excess. Lucian, you've acquired your spell components. Caro, you kind of lug the fucking like massive amount of cargo of just food for the journey. Zephyr, you acquire some winter gear and just stow it away in your bag of holding in case you need it. Touco, do you have any errands you need to run, like any food or supplies you want to grab, or do you got everything you need from your journey here? You're muted if you're talking. All right.
I still have things I need to buy as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone. I want to make sure everyone gets attended to. I don't want to just be one person for too long. But seems like Touco's away, so we'll come back to them. In that case, Gil, what were your further errands?
He's going to need to.
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
What did you say?
I was just saying, do you have any errands you need to run while the party's still in town? Because from the sounds of it, they're going to be. Okay.
That's what I can think of.
Okay. In that case, Gil, what are your final errands?
He does need to buy some more rations.
Okay. How much you going to get?
He's going to buy another 20 rations.
Okay, 20 rations, that many coppers apiece, paying with gold, or rather paying with silver. All right, 1 gold for 20.
Okay. Then he wants to go and find, like, is there a magic shop in this city?
Not a dedicated one. They've mentioned in the past that most of their magic stuff is imports from the south, but they do sell some basic like spellcasting components. They just don't have like a dedicated shop for magic items. As from what you heard, it seems like Sothis the dragon kept most of them.
Okay, fair. So he'll probably wait on that. But the only other thing that he really needed to do was to go back to the people who did his arms for him, because he wanted to talk to them real quick.
Okay. All right, so you make a run back to the palace. What do you wish to discuss with them?
He wants to find out roughly how much the IOU is for that, for all the equipment he gave him, and then find out how much it would cost after taking into account the IOU to have another set of arms imported for him that are a bit more magical of nature.
So yeah, wanting a magical prosthetic.
Correct.
Okay, give me just a second. They tell you quite frankly that they're not positive that they can do that, like give you straight up upgraded prosthetics, although they're certainly willing to experiment and try. They would need to do some research, essentially. They do mention that, again, Autumnfall deals more heavily in magic items, so you can try there. But for the IOU of what they've already given you and what you gave to them, for the amount you gave to them, taking into account that they are lightly used, to put it mildly, they say that for all of that you gave them, they're trying to scrounge together 300 gold to provide you with.
So as far as that goes, since it's just 300 and he's not hurting for money, we'll just tell him to not worry about it, just put him to good use.
Okay. Which they thank you very profusely for.
And then the horse that we have for our
Fat horse.
Amazing, and I will die for that.
Fat horse, yeah.
God, I love Butters.
I love
How are they looking by this point? Have they gotten skinnier? More fit?
Has staying in a stable, not going anywhere, helped them lose
For
weight?
months.
No.
Yeah, for months.
Yeah, for 3 months? No. No, they're still fat.
Oh boy.
You know what I have to do now?
A second horse. One for his personal use for when Butters gets tired.
All right, so you're getting a horse?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know if Insomniac has seen the fat horse gif.
It's fantastic. Okay. And are you getting a riding horse or a war horse?
War horse.
All right, a war horse is going to cost you
20,000 gold.
400.
He pays it.
All right.
400, and then he's
Let me
going
know
to
we
get
can get a.
supplies.
Does our card set up to have 2 horses?
It can easily be configured to do so, not without too much work. Most carriages and carts can handle at least 2. All right. Gil, heading to the stable as Caro is retrieving their menagerie of animals. Caro, you watch as Gil purchases a very fine-looking warhorse. It's this kind of like, almost like kind of grayish blue color with a blonde mane. And again, it's big, it's muscular, and it has this kind of steely gaze to it. It is a horse of war. And Gil, the horse does not come with armor, but horses in general, or war horses in general, are obviously relatively tough. So, but you do see that the stable, it does sell armor for animals if you wish to purchase some.
Yeah, and also, do they sell armor that could fit Caro? I think no, Garo.
What about Garo?
Well, Garo already has armor.
The lion already has armor?
Tiger, and yes.
It's a tiger.
Tiger. No, I didn't know he had armor.
Yep.
Yeah, it was one of the gifts from the mother.
Yeah, he got some earlier.
Okay, then yeah, he'd like to get some for his horse.
All right. What kind? Plate, leather, breastplate. What kind of armor are you getting?
Like a medium, something that won't like weigh him down too much, but still give him good protection.
All right. You can get chainmail or a breastplate.
Breastplate.
Okay. Getting a set of breastplate that can suit your horse. 1,600 gold.
Okay.
All right. Has everyone concluded their errands?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Touco, you wait at the tavern for a few hours, explore the city a little bit, but you already packed for a long journey, so buying anything else would just be overkill. And one by one, as the hours tick by, it's about late afternoon at this point, as the party begins to one by one trickle back into the tavern. Zephyr returns first, having simply gone out to purchase, from the looks of it, a just set of winter gear, but not much else. Shortly after, Lucian returns with a few fresh spellcasting components. Caleb next, selling off their excess gear and having a bit more money for it. And from the sounds of it, given that the next kingdom you're going to be visiting is very high in magical properties and items, as again, Sundragon has mentioned that what magic items they do have are typically imports from Autumnfall, you're excited to see what you might be able to spend that money on. Kero returns next. Zephyr noting with some amusement that they are carting a heavy load of animal and human feed.
Heavy load, like what was it, 300? Or like they get 300, right?
Like close, counting Lucian and Kero's, almost 400 days of food.
I'm surprised their back can handle that.
Small price to pay for pets.
Small price to pay for pets. I'm gonna check something real quick because I'm actually curious.
600 pounds of each thing.
While he does that, it occurs to me that we didn't tell you our names.
Also, real quick, just the thing I was going to say before you guys do introductions. Caro, I just confirmed you just bought enough food so that you, Lucian, and the animals can eat for the rest of the Yavik year.
Good.
Literally a
Save
year's.
for later.
Yeah. Anyways, Touco, as Gil is the last party member to return, having had by far the most business to conduct. As Gil sits at the table, Lucian, broaches that they indeed have not introduced themselves to you, or really you to them.
Just kind of dawned on me that we have forgotten to do interjections, so I'm gonna look at everybody.
Alright, I guess Caleb will take the lead. Are they here, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Caleb will take the lead on this. My name is Caleb.
You're cutting out.
He just introduced himself as Caleb.
Okay.
And I am Gil.
Ah, pleasure to meet you.
The redhead is Lucian.
Lucian Alafikir.
So formal.
What's wrong with being formal?
Kato, do you introduce yourself?
I am Carol. This is Carol. This is Soren and his pack, and the others don't have names yet.
Ah,
You just introduce
well.
each one, bring out the spider, be like, this is, I haven't given him a name.
Yeah, at this point, as the party has gotten their gear together for travel, Touco, you see that the stories are indeed true. In addition to the animals they had on them when you first met them, Caro is now also toting a small hand-sized spider, which you recognize, interestingly, as an Underdark breed. A pack of 6 small, chicken-sized draconic creatures, which we in the real world would know as velociraptors. and am I forgetting anything, Carol?
The
Oh.
dragon.
Sukamina?
Yeah, the dragon.
I mentioned the
Yeah.
Sukumimus when they
Oh, yeah.
first met.
Yeah.
And Touco, as you're processing all the different animals and turn your attention to the small red saurian, Zephyr, I don't think I need to ask, but just in case, do you introduce yourself?
I mean, you say that. What do you think his answer is going?
No.
No.
I mean, not wrong. Zephyr says nothing.
I roll my eyes. That's Zephyr. He's annoying.
We're all annoying to a degree.
Speak
We
for
all have our
yourself.
time.
I will have
Ah.
you know that people enjoy my company.
Well, you know what they say. The longer you look at something, the more you grow to like it.
Like people
I have
enjoy
yet
it.
to experience this.
I was like, I don't think your targets enjoy your company.
Neither have I.
But so all are y'all's errands done? No more.
Well, I was going to ask one thing, since we're all sitting here.
And
Here, can you mute real quick so I can have mine?
Well, next week is my birthday. Well, our birthday, me and Lucifer. Well, that's complicated. Anyways, it's the birthday, and I wanted to celebrate it here with, you know, Sundragon, and you can see like her face is like getting a little pinker.
Issue. Sundragon won't be here.
Elaine, she leaving?
Well, we haven't set out a date, and I thought that maybe we could just like get a week for everybody to get ready.
Well, I
And
think those aren't. I think they're leaving or already left by now.
did they already leave?
They haven't left yet, but they're about to. The militia was
Yeah.
planning to march at dawn, and it's late afternoon at this point, but the militia is still preparing to march south soon.
It's leaving by the morning.
Okay. Let's
I mean,
just go
Politics waits for no one.
Your
then.
best,
I guess so.
yeah, your best bet would be to join them, or we're going as with them as well, possibly.
I don't see why we couldn't join them. I mean, we all have the same objective, no?
Yes,
Objective,
I think the plan was to go
questionable,
with them. We're
but
gonna go with them down to where they're going. Then we're gonna go down to the Berger, and then we're going to try to bring help to help them finish the job, and then you'll have plenty of time.
Well, no, because then we have to go to Aegis and help Carol get their old party member back. And
I mean, it's gonna take us some
Is that
time
time
to go.
sensitive? Is that time sensitive, Carol?
Well, I don't know. He's in a prison camp.
yeah, the earlier we get him out, probably the better.
Okay, so we do the first two things I said, then we go to Aegis, and then you'll have plenty of time.
And then I've got to go to Wicked and kick my brother's ass.
Yes, but he's waiting there, so he can wait longer.
Priorities, Lucian.
I know. And then we promised. What was your name?
Me?
Yes. The no, the other rat person in the building. Yes, you.
My name's Touco.
Well, we did promise Touco here that we would help them resolve whatever is happening in their city too. So we just got the full plate. So I'll celebrate next year, no problem.
Bring in my inner. I already forgot his name. What name? Give her.
All right. If everyone's errands are done, Do you want to head out to the front gates and join the militia at their camp?
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I have a new spell. It will keep us dry and warm. I can only fit 10 people in it. It's kind of like a tent. So it will help us in our travel.
Your priorities.
Do you like to be soaked in the rain, Caleb? Do you like to have a nice warm place to sleep at night when we're traveling? Of course I have priorities.
Caleb looks at the cart.
It's gonna be more comfortable than the cart, I can guarantee it.
Yes, well, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
All right. Gathering up your gear, you guys.
Also, I was gonna note that Caleb now has his armor on now, which they didn't see yet.
All right. Would you care to describe it?
Well, one of it is a fancy studded leather, and the other one is your design. So,
Touco, you see that Caleb, rather than the, again, simple clothes that they had been wearing when you first saw them, are now donned in a much more travel-oriented cloak that has this kind of Arctic camo texture to it, and a noticeable red buttoned belt that seems like it would probably do something interesting if pressed.
didn't Caleb also, like, by request, have some of the gold color added to it?
Mm-hmm.
And then he also has. What was this? What is the plus one studded leather flavored as?
I believe you had just. Where? Do you remember where you got it from?
No.
Then we'll just. Then we'll just say that it's like just studded leather armor, but otherwise like unremarkable.
High quality.
Speaking. Yeah, it's high quality.
And then on top of that, the cloak, he has that studded leather armor that seems to be of very high quality.
Mm-hmm. And with that, you guys gather your equipment, assemble your numbers, your aminals. Caleb, you return to your favorite spot in the carriage. The animals prepare for a journey, and Touco, as the party heads out of the inn with you behind, you see that how the party's been traveling these few months. You see a admittedly very nice-looking carriage, kind of dark green colored, and with very fine looking seats and doors, very fancy, which, given that you're starting to get the impression that these people seem like they're used to very high standards, suits them. But what more catches your attention is the animals pulling it, which you see are the previously mentioned bluish gray warhorse, and next to them, looking very out of place, an incredibly obese-looking, kind of creamy brown horse.
How the hell can something only have the option to walk and yet still be so fat?
You see, at one point we left to do something, and we just kind of left its food in front of it, and we didn't think that it would. We just devoured it all at once.
No self-control.
Nope.
Butters kind of gives a.
It is an animal. It's to be expected.
And Caleb, did you say that Butters kind of gives a.
I do want to do one thing before we all settle down for the night. So.
All right. Well, yeah. The party hasn't gone down for the night yet. You guys are just getting.
We're about to leave.
Just noting it that I have something.
Yeah. No worries. All right.
Well, I'm driving.
All right, Gil, you hop into the front seat. Caleb into your favorite, what you've basically commandeered as your bed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Zephyr, I presume you take your spot on the roof?
Yeah, sure. And he'll also make sure to use his sending stone to tell Red that they're heading out now.
Okay. And Zephyr, as you clamber up onto the roof of the carriage, you message Red, who, after a bit of pause, you hear his kind of low grumble in response. All right, be there in a bit. Keto, do you want to sit in the back or up front with Yell?
Do we know if we're going to be passing through any of her favorite terrain?
You've taken this trip once. Actually, no, you weren't there for that. So you don't know for sure, but probably not. You know that you're heading into a valley, and you're going to have to cross the desert. So.
Okay, so she'll sit in the back with her babies.
Yeah, with your beasts.
Yeah, my beasts.
So, Touco, you watch as, seeming to their credit, with how disorganized they are, it seems like they all have an understanding of their travel situation. As almost on instinct, without speaking a word to each other, these people you're getting ready to potentially travel for quite a while with begin to gear up on the carriage. Gil, the muscular elf, takes the front seat, coach ready to drive, taking the reins. Zephyr, the pygmy little saurian, climbs very, very smoothly, as if it were just simply walking on the ground, onto the roof of the carriage. The diving suit bearing frog Caro dives into the back cargo area with all the animals, with the exception of the raptors who walk behind. Lucian takes the seat closer to the front, and Caleb sprawls out across the seat across from Lucian, seeming quite comfortable. There is a seat for you next to Lucian if you wish to take it, or you can walk alongside, or however you wish to be seated while traveling.
There's probably a Caleb-sized
I'll sit next
indent
to-
in the seat.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably just sit next to Lucian.
All right. Lucian, as you make yourself comfortable in your usual spot, the halfling scrambles up into the carriage and sits next to you. With that, everyone's aboard. Touco, just so you're aware of who's close to you, so basically who would be immediately there to talk to if you want to have any dialogue. So Lucian's next to you, Caleb's across from you, Caro is in the cargo area, but that's just over Caleb's head. Gil can be seen and heard through the window behind you, and you know that Zephyr is on the roof, so you'd probably have to kind of stick your head out the window to talk to him, but he's still close by. With that,
I feel like we're missing somebody. Where's Red?
They're on their way.
Do we know how long it's going to take?
Didn't ask.
Wow, Zephyr forgot to ask a follow-up question. So surprising.
Well, considering I can't, you know.
Do you need me to send him a message?
I mean, do we need to know exactly when he'll get here?
Seeing as we're getting ready to leave, yeah.
I mean, he's on his way, but whatever. Up to you.
Can I look around to see if I see him coming yet?
make a perception check.
I'll message him. I'll just be like, hey, we're leaving. Zephyr didn't get here. If you could just give us like a ETA, that would be great.
And that's a 26.
Gil, looking around, you unfortunately do not see Red approaching. And Caleb, what were you going to say before I have Red?
I was gonna save it. I was gonna save it.
Okay. Lucian, as you, whenever you message Red, it doesn't take too long before a response comes. Yeah, I'm on the way. Just gathering my things. I'll I'll be at the militia camp before they march out. Might be an hour or so.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay. He's gonna be like maybe an hour or so, so that's good for me because I want to do something before we leave. So I'm gonna take out my brazier that I just bought, and I'm gonna put it in my lap, and then I'm gonna reach behind me and take Mishka by the scruff and put him in the bowl, and I'll look over to our new friend. Do you want to see something cool?
You bet I'll do.
All right, so
Cat for dinner.
fuck off, Gil.
Put a cat in
I'm gonna put the charcoal on the bottom around him and the incense and the herbs, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna
kinda
start
sneezes.
chanting. Just pat him on the head. It's all right. It's all right. I know this is not the form that you're gonna like, but it's fine. We need you to be something else for a little bit, okay? You're the best. I give him a little scritch. Watch this. And she does some chanting and arcane flourishes, and then she pushes down on Mishka and waits about a minute, and then when she takes her hands away, he emerges as a hawk.
Ah, that's certainly a trick, all right.
He's now Mishka the bird, which is weird. I'd just be like, who's a good little bird? I know you like to be the cat, but I need you to look out for us, okay?
The bird kind of leans into the scritches and seeming a little petulant about their new form, but cooperative. They kind of flutter their wings and...
I'm gonna have him fly off, and I'm gonna have him be at the very, very head of everybody, at least far enough to where I can still telepathically communicate with him.
All right. Gil, do you want to head out to the outskirts of Capacitas to join the militia, or are you going to wait for Red first?
Well, he said he's going to be at the camp.
Going to the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll just go ahead and head out. He knows where we're going, since we're sticking with the militia anyways, so he'll find us.
Okay. Gil, you give a "Kya!" and your warhorse immediately, like with just from 0 to 100, immediately just starts trotting. Butters has to kind of jolt and jiggle to keep pace, but eventually the two of them manage to find something of a stride, and the two of you, certainly an odd bunch of travelers, but nonetheless capable, begin carting your way through the sandy, windy streets of Capacitas, as bit by bit the kind of ever-present crowding of Sundragon begins to gradually decline. As people are flowing to the front walls to eagerly join the militia. And as you guys approach the front gates, you notice that the gates are simply just left open, as there's so much traffic that it's just not practical to open and close them every time. And as you approach the kind of outer area of the walls and are able to actually see through to the sort of outer desert that surrounds the city, you can see that there is a large encampment, just tents and small little improvised lean-tos scattered around the sands. And even though a lot of the soldiers have seemingly left to join this improvised militia, it almost gives the impression that the city is more safe than when it started, as there's just tent upon tent of basically every able-bodied person who is physically capable of leaving their home behind for a time to join this battle. Caleb, you and Gil note that several people can be seen carrying the weapons you sold and kind of practicing with them and showing them off to their comrades. As per the norm, the Sundragons go very light. Most of them aren't wearing shirts. What shirts they are wearing are more just practical fur coats against the cold, and very basic ballistic protection. And for the most part are carrying just axes, blades, and the occasional gun, although that seems to be few and far between. And as this improvised army of capable Sundragon warriors begins to assemble, you can see that the flag of Sundragon is proudly flying over the camp. A golden flag with a bright yellow center that takes the form of a dragon skull that appears to be in flames, and you notice that the maw of the dragon forms a shape that almost resembles a heart.
Aww. Do I see my girl?
Yeah, I was going to say, you see the queen herself, bedecked in her golden scale mail, carrying her draconic weaponry, just basically marching around the camp with what appears to be her squire at her side.
Wait,
just
like an idiot.
Yeah, Lucian, you wave out of the carriage as the carriage pulls into camp, and to her credit, she kind of smiles and gives you a wave before you can see she's basically going around the camp, like teaching people's form, teaching people how to properly hold and wield their weapons.
Cool.
She's definitely in higher spirits than she previously had been. It seems like getting ready for battle is just something that's so easy and familiar to her that it's distracting.
Yeah, it's helping her mentally. Yeah, I get it.
And beneath the flaming heart-shaped dragon skull of the Sundragon flag, you can see the oath of Sundragon written beneath it. It's in Midgardian, which most of you do not speak. However, most of you who live in this region, Kero, you especially, as Blackthorn and Sundragon have always historically been allies, you all are at least have a vague passing familiarity with what that oath means. In Midgardian, it means, if we burn, you burn.
Ooh.
The militia seems like they're a little late on the promised dawn march, and more people are flocking, kind of scrambling with their weapons, like a very violent anime schoolgirl with a dagger in her mouth instead of toast, flocking to join the militia before it's too late. And you can see the queen looks a little frazzled and busy, but seems to actually be really enjoying herself. Is there anything you guys would like to do in camp, or are you just going to wait for the march to begin and just follow along with them?
Yeah, Caleb is just going to wait and kick his feet up in the cart and just.
I'm actually gonna get out of the cart.
rest.
I'm actually gonna get out of the cart, and I'm gonna use my broom of flying, and go over and see if I can't help out with the army and stuff. Like, see if I can't help her or do anything.
Okay.
Let's spend some time together.
Okay.
Cleric trying to teach you how to fight.
Yeah, teach me to fight. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, cleric and a wizard. The two, like, are, unless you were a war cleric, the two arguably least combat capable.
I mean, she said it herself. She's not a fighter.
Fair. I'll tell you what, for funsies, make me an intelligence check.
Oh, okay, cool. I can do that. I'm very intelligent. Intelligence check.
Hey,
Okay.
I have a ranger that is very painful.
Not bad, not bad.
Painful to play.
That'd
I
be a
will
22.
drive over there and choke you.
Lucian, how'd you do?
22?
I know where you live.
Okay. Gil, you doing anything?
Mostly just waiting.
Okay. Zephyr?
Oh, that one for sure.
While you're checking, Kara?
Carol is not doing.
All right. Zephyr? A barrel? Yeah, looking around, you can see there's quite a few sacks and barrels that are being toted along in carts to just carry, like logistical supplies for the militia as they march.
Oh my god, is he gonna come spy on me? Okay.
You think Zephyr gives enough of a shit?
No, I was just, I don't know. My brain was like, is he gonna come spy on me?
You are so paranoid of Zephyr. Zephyr can do the most, like, innocent, armless thing, just like...
He's spying on me.
He's doing something evil. I have to stop him.
Alright, but yeah, so, yeah, what are you doing, Zephyr?
Are you gonna climb into a barrel like a cat in a box?
Make an investigation check.
Well, good for you. I only get +2.
Alright, so, and I'll say, Touco, you watch as Lucian, excitedly, as soon as Gil brings the cart to a slow stop, hops out of the carriage and excitedly makes her way towards the Queen, who, you're savvy with these kind of things. She seems to fancy the Queen quite a bit. Caleb across from you immediately just goes down for a nap. Caro is just in the back playing with her various pets, and Gil just kind of lounges in the sun as the militia is making their preparations. And after a while, you see Zephyr hop off of the cart into the sand and start kind of slinking into the camp. Is there anything you'd like to do while waiting for the militia to start marching?
Mostly just I guess just like check his inventory and such.
All right.
Just making sure he's got enough.
All right, Touco, you start checking your.
One thing I want to do this night.
All right. Well, yeah. Real quick before I finish with Touco, what are you doing?
Oh, he's gonna offer Touco a candy.
Oh, for me? Or is this like some sort of prank?
Well, not entirely. They're special candies. They give you benefits, sometimes not benefits.
Oh.
Gil, I want you to really think if this is something you want to do.
Well, he's giving them a fair warning about what it is.
A
He
fair
doesn't really
Uh,
explain the part that
you
it
know-
could kill them.
It's pretty much like
Yeah.
a deck of many things, almost just candy version.
Just a what?
A deck of many things.
Which,
just
since you're not familiar with D&D stuff, a deck of many things is an item that's like a deck of cards, and every time you pull one, it does something, and that something can sometimes be very dangerous or even fatal.
Oh my god, yeah, no. Touco would just regard that like, right then. I was not born yesterday, mate. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. Do still. And he'll
Don't
take
do it.
one.
Don't do. Oh my god, he did it.
Roll a D100.
Imagine if he just died.
Yeah, just straight up died there. At least not straight out.
It banishes you to the shadow realm.
Let's see. I got a 95.
Okay, 95. Okay. Gil, pick a character that you've met in this campaign.
Barbers.
Oh,
You pulled a bean from the bag. It's chewy, a little spicy, and kind of has an odd texture to it. And you gain insightful knowledge about a character of choice from the DM. So, since you picked Governor Barbarous, I will tell you something insightful about him.
also,
Go on.
I was just gonna ask: is it like, does it get like better the higher the number goes, or is it just completely random on this?
No, it's I sorted it into categories. So, like, for instance, like 1 to 10 is like very dangerous, but then there's like 70 to 80, which could be like elemental themed. So like it's different themes basically.
Okay.
Gil, for a bit of insightful knowledge about Barbarous, I will tell you his motivation for joining the Scar Concord. He hopes to use the Ichor to basically... You gathered from your interactions with him that Governor Barbarous is incredibly narrow-minded and bigoted. He has very low opinions about anyone that isn't human. I will say, with your insightful bean knowledge of Governor Barbarous, he hopes to use the Scar Concord and the Ichor to turn everyone in Yav human.
Oh my god.
Well, at least he didn't wish to kill everyone that was human.
Yeah, but think about what we know about the fucking Ichor.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically he's so racist that he's going to use magic alchemy to make everyone into what he considers the best race.
I got an instant migraine after you said that.
Valid.
Valid.
So yeah, Gil, with your bean knowledge, you learn in this just kind of random like stroke of information that comes into your mind that Barbarous joined the Scar Concord to basically, in his eyes, purify Yav of the lesser races.
Now I want to kill him even more. I hate him so much.
Is Touco seeing this?
No, basically, from your perspective, Gil just ate a bean and then got like a really distant, thoughtful look on his face.
Which is very odd because it looks like a couple gears are burning.
Yeah, Gil, from your perspective, as soon as you eat the bean and process its flavor, you just suddenly
know this.
Yeah, like you kind of like are just looking into the middle distance, and then this just crash of inspiration comes into you as you feel this kind of slight pain in your head as knowledge comes into your mind unbidden, as if by the will of the gods. But given that you know the magical properties of these candies, it doesn't take a genius. You look down at the bag thoughtfully as you process the information you just learned. So now you know 2 of the Scar Concord members' motivations, or rather 3 of them, counting Brogdu. Tropu wanted to cure his disability, Brogdu wanted just greater strength, and Barbarous wants to, in his eyes, purify Yav of lessers.
Caleb's just like, what happened, Gil?
Well, I learned information about Barbarous. I found out why he joined the Concord. He pretty much wants to turn everyone into a human. Ugh.
I assume with Ichor.
Yep.
That's not so good.
Turns out he's extreme racist. Well, we already knew that part, but it's more extreme than we thought.
At least he wasn't going to try and kill everyone who isn't human.
He might as well.
Yeah, how else?
He's very progressive for a racist.
Well, he might as well kill everyone because he's changing everything about them, and it won't really be them.
I never knew you to be so philosophical, Gil.
Hold on, did the wolves happen now?
Pretty much. There's an asshole
Yes,
that we're going after soon. He wants to turn everyone human. And it's all because he hates other races. He thinks they're lesser races.
He's an asshole, basically.
Oh, man. What a fucking dinosaur. Apologies to the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
one of the velociraptors near the carriage just kind of gives you a...
It's kind of an asshole. We kind of already knew. To be honest, I don't really want to know all their motivations, because then I might actually have doubts about just, blowing their head off. I find it much easier to not know why they're doing it, because then I could just kill them without any concern.
Oh, well. There's plenty of
But
concern, because he's willing to
I know
change
it's
your brother.
even better reason to kill him.
God, I love Caleb.
Yeah.
Too bad I wish Lucian was there, but no, she had to go flirt.
And not
I
very
wonder
well
what
either.
Touco thinks
No.
about Caleb just admitting that he just wants to kill all of his enemies.
I love Caleb, and I will die for him.
Yeah, Touco's just it's intense. But considering what's at stake, yeah, valid.
Well, unless you fancy becoming a human,
Huh? What do you
Cusco,
say?
right? I was gonna say,
Touco.
unless you just really want to become a human.
Yeah, no, not in my wheelhouse, mate.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I understand. I sometimes don't want to be a human either.
Right. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
That's wise.
Zephyr, as this revelation happens at the carriage, searching around, it takes you a little bit of doing, but you are able to find near the gates a cart with several barrels, most of which appear to be empty. It appears they're still loading this cart up.
He jumps in the barrel. One in the chamber. God.
Mm-hmm. They're just average barrel sized, about like 3 feet tall, about 1.5 feet around. Yeah. Oh shit, guys, we gotta start the stream.
Oh no.
Woohoo! More
Yeah,
time.
it turns out, Touco, you've been doing that thing of like dreaming about what you're about to do that day, and then you have to do it all over again, and you're just like, ah!
Oh no.
It's always the fucking worst. All right, Zephyr, what devious shit are you doing with the barrel?
It's Zephyr.
Well, okay, so just what are you trying to put in it? It can hold 40 gallons of liquid.
Imagine the dog pilot would happen if he made a bunch of beer just in the middle of this group of people ready to go fight. Four gallons of beer in the wall.
Yeah, 4 gallons of beer.
Zephyr, approaching the cart. The barrels that are full appear like they're just filling this one up with food. But feeling...
I hope this is a watertight barrel.
Feeling, I presume, generous, you take the lid off of one of the barrels that appears to be empty, and unstopping your decanter, begin to fill the barrel with beer, dumping 4 gallons of alcohol into the barrel. At this point, you can see some militia members toting bags of what appears to be wheat carrying it towards the cart. Do you wish to run off, or are you just going to let them see what you're doing? Yeah.
Pour it on them.
Yeah, just like, oh, hey, are you offering beer? And then just like, pocket beer, and then just run. Okay. Two militia members approach the cart as you're standing on the side, pouring the last of the droplets of your beer into the barrel. One of the militia members, a shirtless, dark-skinned human man, wearing a leather helmet and wielding an axe, and what appears to be several smaller axes for throwing along his back, kind of just strapped to him via a belt. He kind of raises an eyebrow at you, curious, so you can see his eyes have a tint of red to them. And kind of peeking into the barrel and smelling its contents, he looks to you, Zephyrin. Is that for everyone, or something of a personal stock? Here and there. We don't get too much this far north. And he kind of sniffs the barrel's contents again and looks at, for a person to drink, 4 gallons is plenty. And he kind of looks to his buddy. You can see his friend is a elvish woman with red hair, appears to be a light elf, carrying a bow and arrow. Her clothes are very light, these kind of sandy browns and reds to suit the desert climate. And she and him kind of look to each other, and there's a moment of consideration between them. They kind of mutter to each other in what it sounds like Elvish before he looks back to you. I'll give you 4 gold for the barrel. Thanks, man. And he immediately just tosses you the gold, and him and the elf just look to each other excitedly and immediately just start, babbling in Elvish about, presumably how fucking wasted they're going to get during this trip.
Another Lucian.
Speaking of, Lucian. While you are not an expert on military tactics, your family were scholars, not fighters, and you were not high enough in nobility to require the services of knights. You at least have a basic kind of, I guess we'd call it intuitive grasp of the concepts. But as you start trying to just say what you know, what you've heard from Gil, and things you can think of about military tactics as you help assist Sundragon in training the militia, she kind of gives you a smile, and as you're trying to explain the concept of a cavalry square from the best of your knowledge to a group of soldiers who are none of whom wielding spears, eventually Sundragon kind of raises a gauntleted hand and just, I have a better idea, Luce. Why don't you tell the soldiers some stories about the fights you've been in and what you did?
Oh, God. All right, I'll start from the beginning.
And it felt a little unnatural to, again, try and recite military tactics that you aren't intimately familiar with, but at Sundragon's encouragement and prodding, you instead draw off a personal experience, the fights you've been in, fights at long range, close range, the battle in the tower, and Touco, as the carriage kind of properly melds into the militia camp, you're actually able to overhear some of it as Lucian tells stories of the group's previous battles. A fight in a tower against an army of robots and their creators wielding advanced weaponry that even magic couldn't create. A battle against a flaming skeleton golem that rose from the tar pit graveyards of Shadow Lily. The battle on the airship against an overwhelming army of constructs created by one of their enemies. You even talk about your recollection of Neon's account of the digital battle he fought against Kaloum, as you guys protected them from the Peacekeepers. All these different battles the party has been in, and the militia, as the sun begins to set, the militia is listening intently, and like more and more people are gathering around until eventually you have the attention of not only the party and the queen, but pretty much the entire standing army of Sundragon as they all gather in a crowd around you to listen to the accounts. By the time you catch up to the conclusion of the battle on the airship, and again, just your personal experiences and what worked for you guys and what didn't, eventually, it seems like the militia has gained even more respect for the party, as quite a few of them look to the carriage appreciatively. And as the militia parts ways and starts running to their tents, without Sundragon even needing to order it, they're already packing up their tents and carts and getting ready to move. Sundragon, raising one of their pronged blades in their hand, gives you a smile, Lucian, and maybe it's the pink of the sunset, but you think you can see a little bit of color in their cheeks as they smile to you. And you guys ready to march?
I'm ready to kick some ass. Let's go.
Sundragon raises her pronged blade into the air, commanding instantly the attention of the militia as they start balling up their tents and throwing supplies into carts. As she smiles and prepares to give the order to march. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Okay, I was just going to say, just as a side note, Lucian is going to kind of hover in the air on her broom, like, next to her, and just, like, watch.
All right. Let me get my outro stuff pulled up, because for some reason we've been doing this for like 2 years, and I
thought we were going till 10:30.
No, we go from 7 to 10.
Okay, we need to start like getting on earlier. It's like 30 minutes.
Well, to be fair, we usually start late, but anyways. If you want to see more of my DMing, check out twitch.tv/Grahamcrackers, GRAMECRACKERZ, for my Friday campaign, The Goldshine Investigations, at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, featuring a party of investigators trying to unravel the cultish conspiracy that threatens to plunge their home into war. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info, resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer, getting ready to march a militia to war.
Hell yeah.
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on Mondays at twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions or the Odd Tornado Productions YouTube channel to catch up on what you missed. Check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH. Do not get it wrong. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link is about to be posted as well. Or on Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are, in fact, capitalized. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in on... I realized I said the thing wrong. This is the Tuesday one. If you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in Mondays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time for our Monday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters trying to gather the artifacts of the gods so that they can gather what is either a valuable treasure, an apocalyptic curse, possibly the preserved body of a Second Age warlord. It's something. There's bound to be something behind that door. But for this one, it's Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight. Sorry, gears got a little scrambled there. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Welcome to our newest player, and I hope they look forward to the campaign going forward. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. Our normal times will be 7 to 10 for this game. We will try to start a little earlier for future ones, but I didn't want an introductory session to go for too long. But I think that's about it for me, so we'll see you guys next week.
All right, we're off the air.